How to boost your immune system, part 3. Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Johnson. I am a board certified chiropractic neurologist. What does that mean? Just have a lot of additional training in neurology. Just as there are medical specialists, there are chiropractic specialists. I've been in natural healthcare since 1983, written several books, and yeah, here we are. It's March 28th. It's a Saturday, 2020. A lot of crazy things have been happening. There's a lot of fear that a lot of people have. Businesses are shut down. My first video I made on March 15th, then I made another one on March 18th. I purposely waited till March 28th to make this video. So let's get into it first. How to increase your immune response. Number one, diet. Very important, especially now. And we're going to go over some statistics too. As I'm making this video, there's 105,000 cases in the United States of coronavirus. Just over 1,700 people have passed away as a result. So what do you want to do? You want to take vitamin D. Vitamin D, if you go to pubmed.gov, you can do the research, hundreds of thousands of articles on the importance of vitamin D with your immune system and how it improves your immune response. But along with vitamin D, very important to take vitamin A. What does vitamin A do? It basically puts a protective coating around your cells. Also vitamin K1 and K2. K1 and K2, great for your immune system, but also takes the calcium out of your soft tissues, your heart, your brain, and puts it back into your bone and teeth. How much do you take? Just 1 or 2 a day. I have it below. You don't have to get it from us. The only thing I ask is that don't get it from Costco or Walmart or Amazon or any big box store or online. Go to your local health food store if you don't want to get it from us. I'm good with that. I said this in my last video. I'm not a vitamin salesman. I'm a doctor. So vitamin D with A, K1, K2. The second one, digestive enzymes. 80% of your immune system is in your gut. It's proven. It's a fact. Yeah, I did have a guy. Technically, your skin is your first immune barrier. Totally get that. But so many people have hypochlorhydria, low stomach acid. And you can say, well, I have acid reflux. I mentioned this on my previous video, but the reality is you have too little HCl. That creates lactic acid. You're not digesting your food. That's what reflux is. So how much digestive enzymes should you take? Probably 1 with a meal if you're a smaller person, 2 or 3 if you're larger like me. Third, and hypochlorhydria, it's so important. 80% of your immune system is in your gut. Actually, the vast majority of your serotonin, your happy brain neurotransmitter, is in your gut. Number 3, and these two are combined, Resveratrol and NADH. Why? Because it supports your mitochondria. Why are the mitochondria important? The stronger your mitochondria, the stronger your immune system. Those are very important. This is just a basic guideline. All right? If you do contract the coronavirus, you test positive, you're welcome to email me. I'll give you my email, drj@ohstemcell.info. I know I said that's fast. It'll be down below this video. Shoot me an email. We can work up a specific protocol for you. Yes, we do work up specific protocols that eliminate and can eliminate the coronavirus. There are already doctors in my consulting group. I consult with doctors all around the country. 3,000 doctors have been through my program. It's called the Field Protocol. And there are specific supplements. It's an intense 3 to 4 day program, but it will help you and help your body to heal faster. 99.9%, in my opinion, are going to contract the coronavirus, recover from it, and they'll be doing better. Let me just give you this statistic. This is from worldmeters.com. That's what I have on my video screens and back. And why do I have 3 video screens? Because I'm always researching. I'm always on pubmed.gov. I want facts, and this is what I'm giving to you. Coronavirus cases worldwide, 600,000. over 600,000. 621,592 deaths, unfortunately. All deaths are tragic. 28,669. But here's the amount of people that have recovered. 137,364. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, as I mentioned, the U.S. has over 105,000 cases and unfortunately 1,722 deaths. We're going to talk about this a little bit here and get into it. You shouldn't be living in fear. There's a lot of fear out there. So much fear that I've been viciously attacked online for my other 2 videos. I mean, people are crazy. I mean, if you give a different opinion than what the big pharma medical experts, these medical experts are bought and paid for by big pharma. If big pharma can't fix you, nobody can. Meanwhile, throughout my 37-year career, I've helped patients with autoimmune disorders, neurological disorders, chronic pain syndromes. They've been to 10, 15 doctors. We help them. So no, I'm not a fan of big pharma. Medicine has a place. I've been accused of being anti-medicine. I'm not anti-medicine. I have great friends who are medical doctors. Great friends. Medicine does a great job with acute care. They're horrible when it comes to chronic conditions. Just like I said, chronic autoimmune, neurological, and chronic pain. So let's just say that right up front. So the U.S., 105,000 cases. Italy's second with 86,498. China is third with 81,394. I want to say this. The beginning of March, specifically March 2nd, it was all over the news that what's happening in Italy is going to happen to the U.S. The U.S. is going to be overwhelmed. We're all going to die. And, I mixed it up with my brother last night. And he goes, where do you get this, that we're all going to die? Have you not watched the news? It's total sensationalism. It is scaring people. The vast majority of people are healthy. So to increase your immune system, besides taking supplements, you need to change your diet. Stop drinking soda. Stop all the refined sugar. More fruits and vegetables. Stop with the carbs, the empty carbs. Go easy on the alcohol. I mean, my wife and I had a couple glasses of wine last night. I like good wine. I'll share my favorite wines at the end of this video. Honestly, I'd like to drink better wine and less of it. So a couple of drinks now and then, not a big deal. Coffee. Okay, I have a cup of coffee every day. It's not a bad thing. But don't drink coffee like some patients I've had in the past. They're drinking coffee from morning until the time they go to bed, all day long. Or if they're not drinking coffee, they're drinking beer. Come on. Common sense. Unfortunately, throughout all this, I feel like I'm the only sane person in an insane world. And it's resonating with some people because of all the emails I get and all the responses on Facebook and on YouTube. So, like I said, there's a lot of fear. A lot of fear. So the wave was supposed to hit last week and this week. It didn't come. It didn't come. It's not a bad thing to have 105,000 cases. There's something called herd immunity. When enough people contract the coronavirus and overcome it, it will be eradicated. I want to give you a good example. But first, let's talk about this, CD4-CD8 ratio. So there is a test. There is a test, a blood test that you can do to check the strength of your immune system. How strong is your immune system? It's called the CD4-CD8 ratio. There's different types of white blood cells, neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils, lymphocytes, monocytes. So CD4-CD8 ratio measures a type of lymphocyte. CD4 lymphocyte, they're the attackers. They attack. And the CD8 are the killers. So you want this ratio to check the ratio, and it should be above 2. If it's less than 1, you're in severe trouble. This test has basically been used by medicine for HIV, for AIDS patients. I've been using it forever in my practice to see, with autoimmune patients, especially where their immune system is. I'll give you an example. I had a patient one time. She came in and her physician was saying that she had cancer. And I'm like, really? That I don't see it in your CD4-CD8 ratio. Maybe you should get a second opinion. What is he basing this on? And she had a really good CD4-CD8 ratio, meaning her immune system was strong. Usually with cancer patients, their immune system is in the crapper. And I don't cure or treat cancer. I don't cure or treat anything. I support the body to allow for maximum healing. When you cut yourself, it's your body that does the healing, right? Gotta give me that. So she gets a second opinion. She goes down to Madison. No cancer. Yeah. So CD4, CD8 ratio, very important. So if you want to see where your immune system is at, that's what you need to do. Get that test done. And if it's low, you need to start building it up. You need to start increasing your diet. Drink more water. Okay, less soda. I've had patients 12-pack of Diet Mountain Dew. I've mentioned this on other videos. It's crazy. So this huge wave, this surge, this push, from just like it was in Italy, beginning of March, everyone was saying, including Fauci or whatever you want to call him, we're going to have this wave, and it never came. And now they're saying the wave is going to be 2 or 3 weeks from now. I don't see that happening. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, Italy and China have higher smoking rates. Italy and China have an older population. Italy, when they greet people, they're hugging and kissing each other. U.S. has a little bit more personal space. As a matter of fact, before the coronavirus, I would get so frustrated. I'd be standing in line at Starbucks, and the person was so far away from the person ordering, I would go up to him and say, "Are you in line?" Yes. It's like their personal space was 12 feet, not 6 feet. So there are already people with personal space issues. So China and Italy, air pollution in China is horrible. No wonder people in China have coronavirus. But this is a big one. This is why I don't think we need the draconian measures that we have today. And I'm being very serious. The Diamond Princess. Have you studied the cruise ship, the Diamond Princess? And I went back and forth with a friend of mine on Facebook with this. He said, well, there's plenty of personal space on a cruise. There's 3,711 people on the Diamond Princess. 9 people passed away, unfortunately, of the coronavirus. But my question is, why didn't everyone contract it? 742 people did. Why not all 3,711? Those are confined quarters. Why aren't they allowing any more cruises if there's so much personal space, right? Common sense. Common sense has left the building. Literally. There isn't a lot out there. So why didn't everyone contract it? Why just 742? And why out of the 742 did only 9 people pass away? Why didn't all of those 742? Because it's not the strength of the germ, the coronavirus, it's the strength of the host. And by strength of the host, I've had people ask me about this. It's just medical speak for strength of your immune system. What is the strength of your immune system? And how you get it stronger is diet, exercise. Exercise has been shown to improve the immune response. Yesterday I took the dog for a walk. We went on a 90-minute walk. I average about 5 miles a day walking. I'm not saying you have to walk 5 miles a day, but maybe walk for 20 or 30 minutes every day. Today it's raining. I'll still walk. So exercise. And then the supplements I've mentioned. Are there other supplements? What about elderberry? What about astragalus? Fine. But I like those 4 that I mentioned. They're inexpensive and they're simple. And I just told you why. So, like I said, so much fear. So back to the Diamond Princess. Let's go there. Not everybody contracted the virus. You would think if it's so powerful, if the germ is so powerful, everyone would have contracted it and died. That's not happening, folks. A lot of people are going to contract it. They will overcome it because they have strong, healthy immune systems. And guess what? Guess what? Herd immunity will eradicate it. You know, not everyone passed away from the 1918 flu. My grandparents lived through it. So the economy shut down. I just found out yesterday the governor here in Wisconsin has shut down golf courses. And I love to golf. I'm a horrible golfer. I don't golf much, but I love it. Yeah, I don't understand that one. You know, just remove the ball washers. Your groups of 4. Make people stay outside if they want to stop by the 19th hole. Away from each other. I don't get it. Hopefully the Wisconsin Golf Association will work with the governor on that one. But what should have been done, in my opinion, is everyone who's at risk, high-risk patients, and think about high-risk patients. You've got people who were smoking 3 to 4 packs of cigarettes a day. Now they have COPD. And when we were doing a lot of stem cell, we would get those patients, they'd still be smoking, and they want to do stem cell. That's crazy. Or people who eat a very, very poor diet, and now they're type 2 diabetic. And I had one of my Facebook friends say, hey, you know, you're generalizing with diabetes. There's type 1 and type 2. She was correct. Type 1 is autoimmune, genetic. But we've helped a lot of type 1 diabetics with stem cell in our protocols. So I think what should have happened is they should have ran the CD4-CD8 ratio on high-risk patients, and those patients need to be quarantined. Not everyone. I've been stating this. The majority should not be punished for the minority, and I'm not trying to kill old people. My dad is 87. I don't want him to die. I love my dad. I'll tell you a story about that at the end. So golf and my dad, I got to tell you those stories. So I'll let you know when that is. When I'm done talking and speaking about coronavirus, I'll let you know. So these draconian measures, they really need to stop. And I've been accused of being a Trump supporter. I did not vote for Trump. This is nothing about politics for me. It has everything to do with common sense. I'm not a Trump supporter because of the fact when he built his Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, he would purposely not pay his vendors, and he would put small businesses out of business. He would tell them, sue me if you want your money. And some that tried to went out of business. They couldn't afford it, and he knew that. And to me, that just didn't work for me. But people think I'm this huge Trump supporter because I'm saying we got to get back to work. I'm not. This has nothing to do with politics. You know, Como, New York. New York has the highest rate. It's half of all the coronaviruses as we're speaking. I'll give you the exact numbers. New York right now has 46,262 cases with 606 deaths. So Como in 2015, I found a video. Actually, somebody shared it with me, and I'll share it below. Had the opportunity to buy a bunch of ventilators, but what did he do? He went into solar, and he went into wind energy. You know, he made some other choices that now, in hindsight's always 20/20. I get it, but very poor decisions. And now they're in rough shape. But you know, this whole Democrat Republican thing has to go out the window, and we need to focus on what needs to be done. So no, I'm not a Trump supporter. I do think these draconian measures have to stop. As I've mentioned in other videos, H1N1, 60 million people contracted it, 274,000 hospitalizations, 12,000 deaths. We probably, in my opinion, 37 years of practice, I think we're probably going to see that increase. I don't know if we'll see 60 million. We may. But I think eventually that curve is going to flatten with the number of deaths as herd immunity kicks in. So the people that are high risk, the people that lived a very poor lifestyle for years, I mean, my God, there are people who are still smoking. You need to stop smoking now. Don't be so stupid. Don't be such a pathetic loser that you know coronavirus is viral pneumonia. With pneumonia, you literally drown in your own bodily fluids, whether it's bacterial or viral. Stop smoking. Holy cow, make a lifestyle change. But I don't think we're serving the greatest good by quarantining everyone and not just quarantining the minority who are high risk. Like my dad, who's elderly. I have a good friend of mine, a wonderful guy. Known him since I've started here in Appleton in 1983. We used to play basketball down at the Y at noon. And a tremendous respect for him. Him and his wife are in northern Wisconsin quarantining themselves. He's about 9 years older than I am. And he just said, Mike, hey, this is different. You need to get up to your home in Bayfield and hunker down. And I just said, thanks, John. Thanks. I have too much respect for him. I don't want to, just go over this time and time and time and time. I have been going back and forth with some other friends on Facebook. I'm just done with it. As I told you in the last video, I will have it down below. Dr. Wolfgang Wodarg, got to watch that video. There's a few other videos. Common sense. As I told you in my last video, it wasn't just my sister that came in contact with a person who tested positive for coronavirus, but it was also her husband, my brother-in-law. They did not contract the coronavirus. When I mentioned that to her, she said, well, our friends did, other people did. Yeah, but they didn't die. They're going to overcome it. So quarantine the immune compromised, the high risk. Let the others go about our daily business. Contract the viral pneumonia. If they would call it viral pneumonia instead of COVID-19, I think there'd be a lot less fear. Overcome it. I mean, I'm not afraid if I contract COVID-19. To the point, on my last video, last Sunday, I showed it to my staff. We have 7 staff right now. We've just hired another physician's assistant. So we have a nurse practitioner, RN, LPNs, CNAs. 7 of them came to me and said, look, we're refusing to work until this is over. I'm like, well, the government just put out essential and non-essential businesses. I said, medical offices, and that's what we are essential businesses. And what I proceeded to do was fire 3 of them and then sit down with the other 4, hashed it out, told them what I didn't like, they told me what they didn't like. And we've hired 3 replacements this week. So we did shut down for a week. I respected that. They're overworked, they're stressed, they just needed a week off. If you would have just come to me and said that instead of giving me an ultimatum, I wouldn't have to fire anybody. But don't paint me back into a corner and then not expect me to do anything. I mean, seriously, people are so crazy. Because of my last 2 videos, I've had people threaten to come to my office and beat me up. You gotta know I'm like 6'4", 270, and I know how to street fight. So you don't want to be doing that because it's not going to be good for you. Seriously, I'm getting emails. People are going to come and I'm going to beat you up. People are insane. And then I get people, well, you want to kill old people. What's wrong with you? You could be a carrier and you're putting people's lives at risk. Not if those high-risk patients stay home so the rest of us can contract it, get over it, and there's herd immunity, and it eradicates. I caught a lot of crap too because in my last video I said point blank, look, we have specific protocols. It's called the field protocol that will knock out the coronavirus if you do get it. It'll help your body heal faster. We're not curing the coronavirus. And if you know this, why aren't you sharing it? I am sharing it on my videos, and then I get attacked, viciously attacked in some cases. And wow. You know, it's big pharma. Big pharma runs it. It's not the strength of the germ. It's the strength of your immune system to overcome that germ. Chiropractors have always said that from day one. And I'm telling you, I had another good friend of mine. He's a doctor I went to school with. He owns a medical clinic in Minneapolis. He texts me. He goes, I'm not on Facebook, but I follow what you're saying on your Facebook page. And my public Facebook page is Dr. Michael Johnson. I'll have a link below. Dr. Michael Johnson, board certified chiropractic neurologist. I have all this that I put on my personal page. Don't friend me. I only have friends on Facebook, people that I personally know. So he texts me and just talks about the same experience that I had with my staff and just how crazy it is. It's just crazy, and how fearful people are. You don't have to be afraid. Oh my God. Yeah. So yes, I've successfully addressed thousands of infections. If you come down with corona, shoot me an email, drj@ohstemcell.info. I'll have the email below. Please don't call me. Somehow people are getting my cell number, and I asked my staff if they're giving it out. And they're calling me. I can't take phone calls. I'm sorry. We're swamped. We really are. And so that's another accusation. Well, you all you care about is the bottom line. You just want to get the economy back because you just care about making money. Look, folks, we're busy. We're swamped. Not only do I run this office, but we're setting up other offices around the Midwest. We're going to have 15, 20 offices. I just hired a president of our corporation because I can't do it all myself as CEO. And so we're busy. That's not it at all. I honestly feel, and I listened to the head of the Fed in St. Louis this past week, and he said he's projecting 30% unemployment by the end of the year if things don't change. Keep in mind, in the Great Depression, at its peak, there was a 25% unemployment. This is going to be worse than the Great Depression of the 1930s if people don't get their noggins screwed on correctly. And I'm not trying to kill off people. Any death is tragic. My dad is 87. He shouldn't be going out. After I finish this video, I'm actually going to call my dad, see how he's doing, check up on him. So, yeah, you want to increase your immune system, change your diet, stop smoking, lifestyle changes, less alcohol, less refined sugar, less caffeine. Take the supplements I've recommended. You don't have to get them from us. Go to your local health food store. Vitamin D plus A plus K1, K2. Digestive enzyme. 80% of your immune system's in your gut. And yeah, I know your first barrier is your skin. I talked about that in my last video. Resveratrol and NADH for your mitochondria. Stronger mitochondria, stronger immune system. You can check your immune system with the CD4-CD8 ratio. Okay, that's the coronavirus. Let's talk about some personal things. Not too personal, but so my dad, as I mentioned, he's 87, and yeah, he should not be going out. I've told this story. If you've heard it already, you can turn this off. But my dad's dad, my grandfather, owned a Ford garage. He started a Ford dealership in 1921. My dad and my uncle was 4 years younger, worked for my grandfather from the time they were very young. And my grandfather was very stoic, never told anybody how he felt emotionally, and especially his kids. And one time I was with my uncle and my dad, and I'm like, did Grandpa Al ever tell you he loved you? Never. Never. I'm like, wow. Because my dad had always said that he loved me and was proud of me, and still does to this day. I don't think you can tell your kids enough of that. And I say it to my kids. So my dad told a story one time when he was in high school. He was going to the prom, and after school they would have to go work at the garage. And my grandpa comes up to him and goes, hey, you need to take this car down to Marinette and pick up a trade, car that we got on trade. Bring it back. And my dad goes, I have the prom tonight. He goes, my grandpa goes, I don't care. Get going. My dad literally told me he drove 100 miles an hour all the way down to Marinette, wheeled it back 120 miles an hour. He goes, the speedometer never went under 100. So that's my dad. My mom probably would not have survived the coronavirus had she been living. She was a heavy smoker, had a lot of anxiety. When my mom started smoking in the late 40s, you know, they didn't know. The tobacco companies had suppressed all the research on how bad cigarette smoking is for you. So at that time, all they thought was it stunted your growth. And my mom was a tall kid. She was 5'8". She smoked like a chimney. So yeah. So my mom and dad get divorced when I'm in 7th grade. And after that, this is a small town. Nobody gets divorced. You stay married for your kids. So I had a lot of anxiety through junior high and high school. I worried what people thought until on my mom's birthday, my stepbrother is hit by a train driving home 2 blocks from home, dies immediately. And I'm like, wow, I could be dead tomorrow. I could give a crap what anybody thinks about me. That has served me to this day. Being a chiropractor, being discriminated against constantly by the medics doesn't faze me. You know, people say horrible things, threaten me. I just ban and delete them on Facebook. Who needs it? But my stepdad, my mom remarried. My stepdad, Ronnie Bennett's great guy. Great guy. Ronnie was a lot like my paternal grandfather. I don't have to tell you I love you. Actions speak louder than words. All right. I'm okay with that. And by the way, Ronnie never spoke of my stepbrother's death, Jay, who was my age, until after my mom passed away. So my mom was a heavy smoker. She passed away of cancer, lung cancer. So in 1996, she was 61 years old, fatigued, loss of appetite. Those are cardinal signs of cancer, by the way. Extreme fatigue, extreme loss of appetite. I'm like, she's got cancer. It took him 9 months to diagnose it. She went the whole medical route, very medically oriented. Her dad was a pharmacist, owned a pharmacy in Bayfield, Wisconsin. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But my stepdad never told anybody that he loved them, including my mom. Oh my gosh. The whole time they were married, 30 years. So my mom, it's a Saturday. She passed away on a Monday. 2 dates you'll always remember: the day your mom was born, that date, and the date that she passed away. My mom passed away on July 11th. So on July 12th, actually just after midnight. So that Saturday before, my brother and sister were there. I hadn't gone up to Duluth yet, where she was in the hospital. And my stepdad, Ronnie, see that she's in pain and suffering. And he goes, Mary, is there anything I can do for you? And she goes, yeah, you can tell me you love me. So in all the time that they were married, my stepdad never said that he loved her. And he started crying, and he said he loved her. And later that night, she went into a coma, and then she passed away, as I mentioned, a couple days later. So I ended other videos like I'm going to end this. You know, tell the people you love that you love them. Tell them that you care about them. Tell your kids that you love them. Now, these are really, really trying times. lot of fear, a lot of anger, and you know, we'll get through this. I hope we get some common sense, as I've tried to lay out for you. But yeah, just if you're gonna hunker down with your family. One last thing, I took the dog for a 90-minute walk yesterday. We live by a park, High Cliff State Park. It was the busiest I've ever seen it. There were people everywhere. Now, granted, everyone was keeping that social distance 6 feet apart. I don't have any problem with that. I don't have any problem with most of the protocols. I think it's draconian how they're just shutting everything down, and if they continue down this path, there's going to be a severe, very dark depression. And that you have to have some balance. And it's not the strength of the germ, it's the strength of your immune system, the strength of the host to overcome the germ. So, I'm Dr. Michael Johnson. Thank you for taking this one. Went a little long. I appreciate it. Share this video, like our YouTube channel, like my Facebook page. Help get the word out. You don't have to get the nutrition. I have it listed below, but you don't have to get it from us. You can get it. Go to your local health food store. So buy local. I have no issue with that. But yeah, just keep a cool head. Don't be fearful. The big bad bug isn't going to come and get you. If you have questions, shoot me an email. drj@ohstemcell.info. All the info will be down below. I'm Dr. Michael Johnson. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this video. I'll get back to you with another video when the time is appropriate. Take care.